Y'all. This is Fantasy Foot KE. Yo, welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel. This is Fantasy Football KE, your number one plug, your number one source for all matters football, all matters FPL. This is the Fantasy Foot KE. Yo, wagwan my people, wadau mmekuwaje? How has been the week? How has been the weekend? I mean, sorry. The week is only beginning. Ndio tunaanza wiki. Anyways, hope you guys mmekuwa na weekend ingine fantastic, mmekuwa na a good weekend basically and all. So, what am I trying to say? Kulingana vile kumekuwa the weekend, it was fantastic. It was a good one for us. As you all know, kama sisi the Gunners, it's all good on this other side of town, manze. As I told you before in the other edition, Spurs our beaches, man. Our regular beaches. It doesn't matter whether we are home, whether we are away. The end result is the same. We bag those 3 points. We take that W home. Yeah. So it was no different in the weekend. Arsenal beat Spurs as expected. We beat them good. We beat them one goal to nil. A, fa- a very, very thunderous, a thumping header pale by Gabriel. None other than Gabriel, the king of Brazil. Yeah, as fans like to call him. So, anyways, how have you? I hope you guys make on a weekend fiti. So today we just want to do a quick recap of how things have been, and just want to brief you up a little bit, bring up your speed, niwaelezee vile mambo imekuwa kuwa pale hivyo on the Premier League, the best league in the world, aka eh, the best league in the world for a reason, manze. So first things off, let's kickstart it. Pale weekendi, the game started kama kawaida. Kulikuwa na early kickoff, and in our early kickoff, we had Manchester United taking on Southampton. Manchester United versus Southampton at St. Mary's Stadium. For the first time, Manchester United were wearing their blue kit. Yeah, Man United were wearing that blue kit. So for the first time, Man United out in their new navy blue kit, away kit. Pale hivyo. A second start for mans like Mathis Delete. And then Zakzi, the one who keeps tormenting my FPL squad, manze. Zakzi Pale starting as well, getting a fast start in quite a long time. So things started out well for Manchester United, but unajua kama kawaida, this team is usually shaky kidogo kidogo, but finally they were able to get in on the act, and Man's like Onana pale, Andre Onana pulling up with a penalty save. Two saves in that penalty. He saved the original penalty and the rebounds header from Cameron Archer. That young man there alikuwa na nerve sana, so he was not able to convert the penalty and make it count. So Southampton there, they lost the penalty, and then a few minutes later, Mathis De Ligt scores his debut goal for Manchester United in only his second game for Manchester United. Yeah. Mathis De Ligt, the Dutch centre back. You remember that kid when he was a 17-year-old captaining Ajax team to the semi-finals in the UEFA Champions League back in 2019? Yeah, that kid. That kid, Mathis De Ligt there scoring his first goal and Manchester United's first. So Manchester United there having the lead, and then a few minutes later, pale hivyo, mans like Rashford, after going blank for, well, he had a very very big blank kutoka March, since March last season. He blanked for 2 months in that season. Then of course the summer break and all, and then he broke his duck in September. So a first goal for Marcus Rashford in 21 games. So it was good for him, and earlier on, Rashford had earlier promised a fan that he will dedicate the goal to him, a young fan. As you can check out the details on our social media. We posted it on our Twitter, on our X page, so be sure to catch it up, guys. Yeah. So Marcus Rashford there scoring Manchester United second, and inaendeleza his record against Aaron Ramsdale. Yeah, who former Arsenal goalkeeper. Mans cannot stop conceding against Manchester United in Rashford bana. Hey Rambo manze, mambo inakuendeaje bana? Things are not going on well for mans like Rambo. I mean, there was pretty much not there's pretty nothing much he could have done about it because the way the shot was placed. Actually, in both goals, there was really nothing much that he could have done because in the first one by the Ligt, the header was bounced off the ground, ikapigishwa kichwa. Sasa unaona, with that bounce, it took it further and further away from him, and then it was going on into the far post. So it's definitely just made it harder for Ramsdale to catch it. Maybe there's something there with the positioning, but I wouldn't pin it down on him. They says him blame too much. Then in the second goal by Rashford, the ball was curled in into the far post again, but this time on the other side, on Ramsdale's left hand side. And this again comes after Southampton wamepea Manchester United so much time on the ball, so much space, such that it was the best way possible for Rashford to to do his thing, and do his thing he did. Now he continues to extend his record against Ramsdale. Remember, he scored against him when Manchester United lost 3-1 to Arsenal back in August last season. Remember that game when Declan Rice also scored his debut goal for Arsenal? Yeah. So anyways, so Manchester United took a 2-0 lead into the halftime. Pale hivyo, they were playing very well by then. This time hata nikitaka kuingilia Man siwezi walai manze. Those guys they played well. I cannot fault them for that. They were fantastic. I know some of you mtasema it's only Southampton, but then again, you have to back those 3 points in whichever way possible, in the best way possible that you can. So Manchester United taking a 2-0 lead at halftime. Alafu in the second half, they came in guns blazing as well. But they could not capitalize on their earlier chances until deep hapo hivyo dakika za 80, 70 something. Ones like Alejandro Garnacho, the Argentine sensation, the Copa nominee, the Ballon d'Or for under 21 players. You have your man there, Garnacho. Garnacho there scored the third one to give Manchester United a 3-0 lead. Yeah. So that was that. Then in the second game, in the other games, that was the early kickoff. So tukaingia in the next matches, the 3 p.m. kickoffs pale hivyo, and there were a couple of them. Man City were playing on against Brentford. Then Liverpool were taking on Nottingham Forest. Alafu bado kulikuwa na Fulham were playing Leicester City, and then Brighton were playing this team, Ipswich Town, the Tractor Boys. So as you can see, it was you people had choices. Mulikuwa spoiled for choice. So I watched all the games actually, but the Brighton one and the Fulham one, but those ones I caught a little glimpses of. So I watched the Liverpool game in the first half, and then I watched the Manchester City game in the second half. Actually, tulikuwa tunacheki na mans like Ricardo. Shout out to Ricky Crooks, the bona fide rapper himself, Kiburi FC pale hivyo representing. So we were covering the match day with Ricky Crooks pale hivyo, Ricardo. As you can see him in our mini leagues pale hivyo on the FPL, he's rising, he's doing his things, and he had given you people a warning. Alikuwa amewapea warning pale hivyo on match day 1. So the thing is sasa, we watched the first half, Liverpool taking on Forest, and Liverpool had a couple of chances, manze. This was a weekend whereby the goalkeepers should be given their flowers. Wallahi. The goalkeepers played in very, very well. Walikuwa so dominating. They pulled in with a couple of saves. And Sales, the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper, he is responsible for keeping Nottingham Forest in the game. Because, manze, especially that McAllister header, manze, wow. I have to give props to him, manze. Give props where they are due. Sales was playing so well. So Liverpool there blowing a couple of their chances. They had so many chances in the first half, but a combination of the brilliance of sales and a couple of misses from players, it made sure that Palevo Nottingham Forest were able to maintain not conceding, man. And then again, also they also had a couple of chances themselves up front, the likes of Morgan Gibbs White, Kina Elanga, Akina Chris Wood. They had chances to actually do something in the game, but as you know, sometimes it happens the way it happens. Then Hudson Odoi in the 74th minute, manze. Hudson Odoi, former Chelsea academy graduate. I know the Chelsea boys when they saw Hudson Odoi score against Liverpool and then Liverpool end up losing that game. The rent boys wako wanashikika, walikuwa nice mbaya sana. Yeah, so Callum Hudson-Odoi there, pulling in with a very, very fantastic goal to give Nottingham Forest the lead and what will prove to be actually the winner. So Liverpool there losing their first match at home, losing their first game also in the season, conceding their first goal. You know Liverpool. Let me tell you a little bit about Liverpool. Liverpool walikuwa wameenda 3 games without conceding and winning all of the 3 games. So they had a clean sheet. Lakini bana, I think when it's time, when the time comes, everything just happens, man. Because I mean, Liverpool lost that game. They lost at home. Nottingham Forest have never beaten Liverpool since 1969. Since the last time man landed on the moon. If actually it ever happened. Unajua sometimes there's a couple of conspiracy theories there. Wengi wanasema it was a stage act. Ilikuwa imechorwa, ilikuwa imepangwa, imetengenezwa. Anyways, the last time Nottingham Forest won against Liverpool at Anfield was back in 1969 and it was even 5 months before July. So it was around there February because the Premier League runs by July, the Premier League is usually the summer break. So it was in February, 5 months before the moon landing back in July 1969. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Then, actually, the other time that Nottingham Forest beat Liverpool, now it is just anywhere, whether home or away. It was back in 1988 when they won the UEFA Champions League. Hey, my people, manze. Nakwambia this weekend it was filled with a lot of drama, a lot of unexpected actions. Hey, hii ilikuwa weekend ingine moja moto safi sana. Coming back from the international break, I mean, teams were very, very, they were up to it. Wase wamekama wakiwa serious. Some of them needed this break more than ever. As I told you in the previous episode, Manchester United, they really looked like they needed that break and ever because the way they played well. Yeah, they played so well. So teams coming off the international break, things happening. Palevo, Van Dijk now has lost 5 games at Anfield. 3 games in the last 5 at Anfield. And he had gone the previous 96 games with only losing 1 time at Anfield. But now he's lost 3 times in the last 5 games. Tricky sana. Yo, so Liverpool and onslaught there with the first loss of the season. First home loss of the season at Anfield, if I have to repeat myself again. Yep. Na kulikuwa kuna waka, that was only the second game. That was only the second game at Liverpool they lost. Anyways, I totally got this one wrong. I actually predicted a Liverpool win, but it didn't happen as I thought. So, anyways, on to the other match. As I told you, tukiwa na Ricky pale tulikuwa tunacheki the Saturday games. So we watched also Manchester City against Brentford. And ghafla bin vu, unasikianga ile kupigwa na butua. Hey, barely 25 seconds into the match. Actually, to be very, very exact, 22 seconds in. Man's like Yohan Wissa. Boom. Weka kitu. Sinaambiaga manze, you cannot rely on Manchester City for a clean sheet. You cannot rely on Ederson for a clean sheet. Aiwezi. So that was the case. Pale Ivo Etihad. Johan Wissa giving Brentford the lead early on with a very well taken header after a couple of good passes, a couple of good movements there, and ended up in a cross that put him just on the right place and the right time to put Brentford ahead. Lakini Manchester City ni nani? Lakini Manchester City ni nani? My people. Hey, man's like Haaland. In typical fashion, man. Haaland restored Manchester City back into the game. The goal came in at around kitu like 20 something there. Haaland on his weaker foot, on his right foot. A good turn. It was somewhat like a half chance, but with Haaland, he doesn't need a lot of chances. All he needs is just a pick through goal and the ball at his feet. So, Erling Haaland there giving Manchester United the equalizer, and a few minutes later, cue in that Kamim thing. A few minutes later, Erling Haaland strikes again. Ederson. Ederson with one of those ball over the tops, because Brentford were kind of playing a little bit of a highline. I will not exactly say it was a high highline, but in that space of play, they were playing a little bit of a highline. So Ederson Palevo, ball over the top, Palevo, and Haaland Ninawani. One touch to control the ball, and then to stabilize it with the next one, and the third one, he loops it over the goalkeeper for Manchester City's second. Hey, in a span of less than 20 minutes, Man City had equalized and they had taken the lead. Tunawezaje kudeal na hii team bana? Ai. So ni kunoma bana, ni kulonzero. Things are getting tricky, things are getting tough. So Erling Haaland there with his ninth goal of the campaign, and it comes only after 4 games. So he breaks Wayne Rooney's record of the most number of goals in the opening 4 matches of the Premier League campaign. So 9 goals for Erling Haaland in 4 matches, including 2 back-to-back hat-tricks against Ipswich Town and West Ham United. Manze. Wadau bana, mnaona kama kuna timu itawezana City. I mean, should we give Erling Haaland his golden boot already? Because the boy is coming with a anakuja na force. He's coming with a plum. Yeah? It is what our English counterparts they would say. He's coming in hot. So Manchester City there winning 2-1 against Brentford, courtesy of a brace from Erling Haaland. Kitu safi, tamu pale hivyo. I can't fault him much. I mean, he did what he had to do. So Manchester City there won 2-1. And then in the other games, Brighton drew 0-0 with Ipswich Town. So Ipswich Town there, they get their first point of the season. Sorry, their second point, because in the previous game they also drew 1-1. So Ipswich Town there getting their second point of the season. Maybe they have a slight chance of maybe avoiding relegation or just clawing themselves out of the mud. So Manchester City pale they won 2-1, and then Ipswich Town they drew with 1-1 with Brighton. And this one actually comes as a surprise to me, because I thought I was actually banking on a Brighton win, considering they were at home, their performance against Arsenal. I thought maybe they will pull the rabbit out of the hat. But anyways, this is the Premier League, as you all know. As we like to tell you, any team can beat any team. Well, not unless you're Manchester City. Yeah. So Brighton drawing there 0-0 with Ipswich Town. Then in the other game we had Fulham playing on against Crystal Palace. Sorry, not Crystal Palace. Fulham playing in against Leicester City. Yeah, against Leicester City. Ilikuwa tricks. Oh, sorry. Not Leicester City, West Ham. How am I forgetting, manzi? The weekend was only just yesterday. But sometimes, the way nowadays life is, we've got too much going on, so bear with me. Do forgive me for forgetting. So Fulham there, they drew 1-1 with West Ham United. Goals from Jimenez, Raul Jimenez there getting the early goal for Fulham, courtesy of a Smith Rowe assist. And you remember in the build up to the game, I did tell you that Smith Rowe, he will get in on the points, whether through a goal or an assist. And have been proved right. Yeah. So Smith Rowe there assisting Jimenez for the opener. Before Fulham were stabbed back in the back. They were brought back into the match, courtesy of very very late Danny Ings equalizer. Pale hivyo, the forgotten man Danny Ings, that former Liverpool player, former Burnley man Danny Ings pulling up with the equalizer deep in stoppage time, na ndio maana nawambiaga a 1-0 lead is not a lead. Fulham, they scored very early on into the game, but apparently they could not add. Sorry, just having a little of the hiccups there. But they had so much time to kill the game off. Considering taking a lead that early, they had so much time to kill the game off. But unfortunately for them, and fortunately for the Hammers, they could not do anything. So they ended up getting scored, conceding deep into the match. Actually, basically a last minute equalizer. So Danny Ings there grabbing a point for the Hammers, to ensure that they have not lost all the games. Remember, they are coming off from losing 3-1 against Manchester City. So it will not have been a good look for them, because I mean it will have put more pressure on Lopetegui, and the way West Ham have done some signings, so it was imperative for them to get the points there, to get that point. So Fulham there screwing themselves up out of a win, but as you all know, this is basically what happens in the game. This is another game that I also got a little bit wrong, because I was seeing a Fulham win, considering they were at home, considering the form that West Ham had been in. But then again, on the bright side, man's like Bowen, he's in my draft team, Palevo. He pulled up with an assist, so I mean, we get some points there as well. Yep. So those were the 3 p.m. kickoffs, and then baadaye pale hivyo, the 6:30 p.m. pale hivyo, aka 4:30 in UK time. Aston Villa were hosting Everton, and Everton, Everton have yet to win a game this season. So Everton coming into the match, they had a lot of pressure with them. After letting a two goal lead go down pale hivyo in their game against Bournemouth last time out. Wakapigwa comeback na Bournemouth, losing out 3-2. So they were back again in action. This time away at Villa Park to face Aston Villa. And the match started out well. Everton taking the lead there through mans like McNeil, the former Burnley man. McNeil there. he gave Everton the lead, and it was a good goal. Actually, it was a good goal. And it was uncharacteristically uncharacteristically kizungu inatugonga kitu bwana. It was uncharacteristically. Anyway, whatever it is, man, it was uncharacteristic of Aston Villa to go down early, especially in the home game. So pale Aston Villa going down early 1-0 to a Dwight McNeil opener. And then mambo ikaenda ikiharibika zaidi. McNeil there pulling in a great cross that was put in on goal by none other than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Yeah. Yeah, manze, things went from bad to worse for Aston Villa. And it was barely 40 minutes, 30 minutes into the game. They were 2-0 down at home. Hey, kubaya. Eh? But as you all know, I think even when Villa went down 2-0, they all had that feeling, this is Everton. Everton, when they get a 2-0 lead, they are already cooked. I think they had that feeling in them, because, I mean, whatever happened next, as you all know by the Palevo, that goal by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, it was the 56th goal for Lewin in Everton colours, his 56th goal for the club, and that one puts him at par with Club legend, Tim Cahill, the Australian. Yeah, yeah. Pale hivyo DCL, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, aka the model, scored in his 56th goal of his Everton career and tying up with Tim Cahill for the in their all-time top scorers. I'm not saying he's their all-time top scorer, but in that list of their all-time top scorers, he's tied now with with Tim Cahill. So, and it was a very, very important goal, because as I told you, a 1-0 lead is not a lead. But even in Everton's case, a 2-0 lead is also not a lead, but because what happened next? What happened next? Hey, Kubaya. Kubaya. First of all, Palevo mans like Watkins, only Watkins. Watkins has been blanking so much since the beginning of the league. Since the Euros, he has not scored. He only has an assist. But now that situation was changed very, very, really quick. Real quick. Palevo, Oli Watkins scoring, grabbing one back before halftime to give Aston Villa a lifeline into the match. Palevo with a good goal. And Palevo, I can tell you, my draft team thanks you. My draft team thanks you, Oli Watkins. I was waiting for those goals. Nilikuwa nimezingoja sana basically. So Oli Watkins akafunga the first one just before halftime, and then in the second half, Aston Villa, they kept the pressure up and they added another one. So that was a very, very, very. It was a very, very good performance from these people, manze. Hey, I loved it. I loved it the way Aston Villa pulled that comeback. So Oli Watkins in the second half, he grabbed his second goal and Aston Villa second to equalize the match. Eh, and at this point, I'm thinking now after this goal has entered, it has entered, it has rippled the net. After imetetemesha nyavu, after imetingisha hizo maneti, the Everton fans, I think when they saw that goal, Ay, manze, it can be depressing manze. Wallahi, ile uchungu, ile pain. So, what was going through the Everton fans after that second goal it was pure turmoil, manze. It was like, boy, here we go again. Oh man, this is it again. So, Everton there conceding the equalizer from Oli Watkins, and then the game was shaping up for a fantastic end. It was shaping up for a fantastic end to things Pale Villa Park. Enter John Duran. The Colombian youngster, the 20-year-old Colombianas. Nakwambia, no sooner had the Everton fans seen John Duran coming in, then they knew it was over. Walijua enyewe kumeharibika because man scored a belter. He scored a screamer. Yani ile inaitangwa screamer. Hey, that was a goal. That was a goal and a half. An early contender for goal of the season because bado tujapata zingine. I would go as high and place it among as the goal of the season. But definitely, I'm sure it's going to take the goal of the month. Hey, that was a good goal from John Duran. I mean, all jokes aside, all matters aside, the technique, everything just was perfect. Everything was perfect. It was executed to perfection. It had enough power. It had enough precision. And pale hivyo picks, man's like picks. Jordan Pickford in goal, he had no chance at all. No chance. No chance. Unasikia, unaonanga when Mr. McMahon, that came in with Mr. McMahon, Vince McMahon for WWE. No chance. No chance. So John Duran, for the third consecutive game, he comes from the substitute and he scores the winner. I mean, why are Aston Villa not starting this guy? I mean, whoever is starting in that other place, anaweza toka. Let him start alongside Oli Watkins hapo mbele bana. Because I mean, 3 winners as a substitute in 3 consecutive games. I mean, this thing is it's too perfect for him. He's not, si kubahatisha anabahatisha. He knows what he's doing. So Jean Duran there pulling up with the winner for Aston Villa in what was a very, very exciting match. And of course, if you're an Everton fan, if you're a Toffee, it was disappointing. But anyway, as a Toffee, I mean, you've been having more. Those disappointments are not they are not like see it in Mara ya Fao. It's not the first time. I mean, you know, we understand you all people. Mm. So, anyways, Aston Villa there coming back from behind to beat Everton, which is not a special feat. I don't want to rub it down on the trophies, but even Bournemouth did it, so I think special there. But anyway, the most important things, Villa got all the 3 points, yeah, to continue their campaign. It would have been a very, very bad outing for Aston Villa, losing at home after losing at home in their second match at home, after losing to Arsenal. So, and then again, if they had lost with that scoreline of 2-0, man, it would have been back to back home losses, 2-0 home losses. It will have started putting the pressure, piling the pressure early on. So, anyways, that was Sunday. That was Saturday evening. Early evening in the UK. A 3-2 win for Aston Villa, and a lot of more miseries for the Toffees and all other Everton affiliated people. Palivo, Sean Dyke, speaking after the match, he just said the blame was on him. I know the coaches like to take the blame for the team, but the players really let him real down. Well, he let down real bad, Manze. I mean, they had a 2-0 lead. For God's sake, you cannot be conceding back to back, Manze. Mna lose lead ya 2-0 in back to back games. I mean, no. The players have to account for themselves. They have to account for themselves there. Even though I know Sean Dyche did take the blame for the L, but the players have to account for themselves. I mean, ah, if I was an Everton fan, I would be fuming right fucking now, man. Hey, man, their team is really doing. And mmetoka international break, man. What was the international break for? If you cannot even take advantage of it. But anyways, thanks God we are not Everton fans. Thanks God we are Gunners. Anyways, that remains to be the opinion of me, Papa D, not Fantasy Foot KE. Fantasy Foot KE is a non-affiliated, non-endorsement club. We are just here to give you everything and all the latest that is happening in the world of football. So, for anyways, as I was telling you about. So in the other matches on Saturday, to close the night, Saturday night football, we had Chelsea traveling to Bournemouth. Chelsea going on to South Coast to take on Bournemouth, aka the comeback kings. And Palevo Chelsea wearing their fantastic, splendid white away kit, man. Hey, that kit is fire. Wonder the fact that it doesn't have a sponsor on the front, so it's just the white, the badge there, and then the blue collars. It's a nice kit. It's a nice kit. At least this time Chelsea they've done some justice. Nike has done some good things with their kits, because even the Barcelona kit, the black one, the away one. Oh, not just the away one. All of Barcelona's kits this season, they are looking good, manzi. I would recommend it if you are looking for a casual streetwear, especially the black one. That black away one. Kitu safi bana. Anyways, back to the match, back to the results. Palevo Chelsea in their white away kit playing in against Bournemouth, and Chelsea won 1-0 courtesy of Christopher Nkunku. And he was a substitute. He came in as a substitute into the match. Palevo, it was a game full of mixed results, mixed reactions. Palevo, because Evan Nilsson, you remember the FC Porto striker? Former FC Porto man, Evan Nilsson, Palevo, he missed a penalty in the first half. Having won the penalty himself, he missed it. And as I'm telling you about this weekend, I don't know. Hey, how keeper bana? Sijui they were on some LSD or something bana. Hey, the keepers were performing so well. The keepers they really came to play on the Cells responsible for keeping Nottingham Forest clean sheet in their win against Liverpool. Pale hivyo, a man's like Andre Onana, keeping a clean sheet, saving a penalty in 3-0 win against Manchester United. And again tena pale hivyo, unaona sahi, Roberto Sanchez, saving a penalty, keeping a clean sheet, making sure Chelsea are not losing another game. Hey, the keepers this weekend, the keepers they were on another level, man. I mean, look at even Raya in the in the Sunday kickoff, but I'll come to that. So now, as I was telling you about Palevo Chelsea won 1-0. Chelsea walishinda 1-0 courtesy of Nkunku goal deep in stoppage time. And do you know who assisted the goal? Would you like to know? Manchester United fans, are you ready to hear this one? Are you ready to hear this one's Man United fans? Hmm? Yeah. So, man's like Jadon Sancho making his Chelsea debut. He came on as a substitute himself. And it looked like things were not going on well when he got booked 3 minutes. 3 minutes into Jadon Sancho's debut. Akapata kadi. Kapewa kayero kadi pare. But kumbe that was just the beginning. Like vile umeanza si ndio utamaliza. Basically that's what I mean. Because he ended up being a difference maker for Chelsea, providing the assist for the goal. And man's like Nkunks, pale hivyo, aka poor man's Cole Palmer. He got in the winning goal. And you don't know that this one is his fourth goal coming on as a substitute. Basically, all his goals for Chelsea in the Premier League, they have all come in as a substitute. He's another difference maker. Yeah, him and John Duran on the same side. Except that he's not been scoring the winners in all of his 4 goals. Some of them have been consolation goals. Unakumbuka ile game ya Liverpool when Chelsea they were hammered 4-1. Yeah. Then some others have been the equalizers. So Christopher Nkunku, he scored in the goal for Chelsea and he did his trademark celebration, blowing in the balloon. So Nkunku there with a goal to hand Enzo Maresca's second away win. Remember they hammered Wolves 6-2 away from home. So now he's won away again. And this was the first time that Chelsea have won away in 8 months with a clean sheet. This was the first time Chelsea have won with a clean sheet away from home. In 8 months, manze. Hey, yeah, things have not been good, manze. Things have not been good on the blue side of town. So that was Saturday. That was Saturday edition Palevo on the Premier League. Then on Sunday we only had 2 games. But before we go to Sunday, I have to remind you that Bayern Munich was also playing in. Bayern Munich they beat they beat they beat I can't remember the name of the team well, but they won 5-0. Harry Kane scored in a hat trick, and that was his 49th goal in 49 games for Bayern Munich. Sorry, it's not 49 goals in 49 games. He has more than that. The first one, the second one, sorry, his second goal was his 49th goal in 49 games because he later ended up scoring the 50th goal. Mm. So Hurricane with half a century of goals for Bayern Munich in less than 40 games. In 35 games, Hurricane has 50 goals in the Bundesliga for Bayern Munich. And I think this was his 4th hat-trick for Bayern Munich. I'm not sure on that, but be sure to check out our social pages for the details. Check us out on Instagram and X as well, Pale for Twitter. You can check us out for the details. Yeah. So Hurricane has a goal per game, basically, a ratio of a goal per game for Bayern Munich. I mean, I know we were all expecting him to be this good for Bayern Munich, but then again, he's very good. He's very good, no doubt about that. So, of course, there was also a goal for Olise. Man's like Olise scored in his debut goal for Bayern Munich, and then there also another one for I'm forgetting the name, Musiala, to round up the scoring to 5-0. Yeah. Then Leverkusen, the defending champions, they won 4-1 against Hoffenheim. Yeah, with Victor Boniface, the Nigerian youngster, scored in a brace, while Teria had also got in on the act, as well as the last goal was scored in by Grimaldo. So Leverkusen won 4-1. Yeah, Leverkusen winning 4-1, 4-1. Get back into winning ways after losing the first match into the season, and the first match in almost 35 games in the sorry, almost losing its winning their first game after losing after 35 games in the Bundesliga, when they were beaten 3-2 by Leipzig. So Bayern Leverkusen there won 4-1. And then let's go back to the Premier League. So on Sunday, Arsenal were playing in against Tottenham Hotspur in the North London derby. An early kickoff on Sunday, which is a 2:30 p.m. kickoff in the UK, 4 p.m. in these other areas. Sisi watu wa Nairobi, sisi watu wa 254 na watu wa Arabian Peninsula. So the match was a very, very tight affair, Pale. Well, first of all, Arsenal, they were missing the likes of Odegaard, the likes of Declan Rice, the likes of Mikel Merino, the likes of Calafiori. I mean, basically, it was a thin midfield for Arsenal. They had never played in without Odegaard or Rice in any of their games. This was the first time that Arsenal were missing their key midfield components there. And it showed in the game. We'll get back on that on another episode. But for now, we just want to give you a quick recap of how things happened. Yeah. So Arsenal going into the match without their captain Martin Odegaard and record signing Declan Rice. Arsenal winning 1-0 courtesy of a Gabriel Magalhaes. Gabriel Magalhaes dos Santos. Gabriel Magalhaes there scoring the winner with a header from a Bukayo Saka corner. So the star boy there getting another assist. His fourth consecutive assist in the first 4 opening games for Arsenal. That is a new Premier League record for Arsenal because they've never had a player who has assisted in all 4 games of the Premier League. So that is a Premier League record for Arsenal, beating in Thierry Henry, who had assisted in all 3 games of the opening campaign back in 2005, 2006. So Bukayo Saka there, the star boy himself, he didn't have much of a very, very good game, but neither did most of Arsenal players. They didn't have their familiar flair game. But they still did manage to get the results. And, well, keeping a very, very important clean sheet. Now that is their third clean sheet. After winning 2-0 against Wolves, 2-0 against Villa. This is their third clean sheet in the season. So, and to be able to do it away from home at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, aka Arsenal's happy hunting ground in the last few seasons, this was the third consecutive season that Arsenal had won at Tottenham. The last time they did this was back in 1988, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, back in 1988 with George Graham. That is very difficult. Even Wenger never managed to beat Spurs in back-to-back seasons away from home. Wenger never managed to win three North London derbies away from home in back-to-back seasons. So this is huge for Mikel Arteta, and considering he had just signed in a new contract there, a new 3-year deal that will keep him at Arsenal until at least 2027, and based on his interview after signing the contract, I mean, this season it has to be Arsenal have to win something. And not just anything. They either have to win the Champions League or the league. And I'm thinking maybe the league it has somewhat of an importance there. But anyway, we'll take what we can get, so long as it's not a Carabao or an FA Cup. Yeah. So Arsenal there winning 1-0. A very, very good performance from Arsenal, including their defenders. Gabriel there, Saliba, he pulled in a very, very important tackle to deny Dominic Calvert-Lewin, a boyhood gunner himself. He couldn't do the justice for Spurs with that chance. He took too much on the ball and he could not capitalize. For a team as good as Arsenal as they are defensively, I mean, you don't need to overdo things. As soon as you get a whiff in front of goal, you need to capitalize on it. So Spurs were arguably the better side in terms of possession, chances created, passes completed. They sort of dominated Arsenal, but Arsenal had the last laugh, scoring in the much needed goal and taking all the 3 points back to the other side of the road. Because basically Spurs and Arsenal, are not London rivals. They are separated by a very narrow strip of road called the Seven Sisters Road. So Arsenal going back home happy to take the points. And it was a huge boost for Arsenal because, they are playing Atalanta in this week in the Champions League. And speaking of Champions League, we'll get back to it. I'm going to give you a lowdown on how things are going to happen. Yeah. So it was a good, vital, much needed win for Arsenal because taking on Atlanta in the Champions League, as well as also, they'll be playing in Man City next weekend away from home also. So it's going to be quite difficult. So they needed all the points, they needed all the morale boosters. Because as I told you, they are lacking a bit of personnel there in Odegaard and Rice and Merino and Calafiori. So I mean, if they can be able to get, if they did themselves a favor, being able to get 3 points and also to boost their morale. Yeah, and if they can go on and also win the Champions League against Atalanta or get a positive result, I mean, it will do them huge favor going on to the weekend game against City at Etihad. Yeah. So that was it. Arsenal there winning 1-0, courtesy of Gabriel's header. Then in the second match for that on Sunday, and basically to close out the league, we had Newcastle United taking on Wolves at home. Wolves were at home. Newcastle United were the travellers. They came in looking in for a win after drawing in 1-1 last time out. So, sorry, after beating Spurs. Now Spurs have lost two back-to-back games. So Newcastle last time out, they beat Spurs 2-1. So they were looking to continue their good form and maybe even snatch a win there. So things started out not in expected fashion. They went in one nil goal, a 1-0 down, courtesy of Mario Lemina Jr. Mario Lemina goal, and it was a very great build up. Strand Larsen there, the new signing with the assist, and it was a good dummy from Brazilian Gomez. He dummied the ball, he dummied Strand Larsen's pass, and with him he took in a couple of Newcastle defenders before Mario Lemina Jr. there pulling up with a tap in. It looked more of a tap in for me, well, even though it was not onto an empty net, but it was like a tap in. So Lemina there giving Wolves the lead at home, and Leeds were basically sorry. Wolves were basically the better side in the first half. They played in so well. They had a couple of chances. They could have taken the game actually, if you ask me, because just that they were not clinical enough. But then again, in them being not clinical, they offered Newcastle United the lifelines back into the game, and the Magpies that they don't need more introduction, Pale. So Newcastle United, they equalized in the second half, courtesy of hey, nakwambia this weekend, hii weekend kulikuwa na bao tamtamu. Goals were being scored left, right, and center, bana. Hey, man, I really like this side of things. So Newcastle United there scoring an equalizer, grabbing the equalizer courtesy of a long range effort from Fabian Schär. Fabian Schär, the defender, the way he scored that goal, you might not even think he's a defender, manzi. Because he scored a very beautiful goal. A long range shot, Palevo, catching catching Johnston out of place, manzi. And it was so good. So Fabian Schär there, remember him from game week 1, he got a red card, a straight red card, and he missed the last 3 games for Newcastle United. So this time out, Fabian Schär, he was not the villain of the story, he was the hero. He scored in the goal for Newcastle United to equalize the scoreline for them and to bring them back into the match. And then As the game wore on, Newcastle United kept playing well and well, and they made it count. Substitute there, Mr. Harvey Barnes. Yeah, Harvey Barnes there coming in from the substitute bench. You know, the former Leicester City man. He came in and scored in a cracker of a goal. Nakwambia weekend. Bao tamtamu, bao moto moto, bao moto moto zinafungwa. So Harvey Barnes comes from the from the bench, and he steps up to give Newcastle United the lead, by scoring a very very beautiful goal, a screamer. Again, Johnston never had a chance with it, and just like that, the Magpies took the lead. They were now in front, away from home. Mm. Hey, Nikonoma. So they were able to hold out the win, and they walked out with all the 3 points. And you know, earlier on, Pale Ivo Gordon had hit the post early in the first half. Mm. So Newcastle United there winning 2-1 away from home, beating Wolves 2-1. And for Gary O'Neill and his boys, it is another opportunity lost to win. They are still waiting for their first Premier League win. So them and Everton Palevo, they are contemplating on the relegation early on, early relegation struggles. So, anyways, that was the Premier League weekend. That is how things unfolded up, Ivo. And I remember Leicester City. Sorry, I had forgotten. Leicester City played in Crystal Palace. Leicester City drew 2-2 with Crystal Palace, and Leicester City took in the lead through Jamie Vardy. And remember, even in the other episode, I did tell you Jamie Vardy was going to get on the score sheet. I was sure, I was adamant on that. So, my people who listen to me, those of you who listen to us, Jamie Vardy there pulling up with the goal, the opener, and then former Arsenal academy graduate Steffi Mavididi comes in with the second goal, and it looked like Leicester were cruising on to a 2-0 away win. Playing in at Selhurst Park. But as things would have it, remember, guys, I told you about Mateta. I told you about Mateta. So, who is Mateta? Olympic silver medalist winner. He comes and changes the game. First, he scores the first one to half the deficit. And then, in deep stoppage time, he scores in the penalty to give Crystal Palace, to grab a point for Crystal Palace. I mean, it was a dramatic weekend. And speaking about drama, the referees, they had to get in on it. They just couldn't help themselves. Palevo in the Chelsea game, Anthony Taylor making a new record, dishing out 14 yellow cards in one game. I mean, it's a Premier League record. It's like these referees, they live for this moment. Card happy referees. 14 yellow cards. Zanini bana. What for? 14 yellow cards. And I'm not even counting the 2 yellow cards he dished out the to the to the technical bench, because Enzo Maresca got carded, and then Bournemouth's assistant coach also got carded. I mean, are these referees looking for attention or something? Because 14 yellow cards ni za nini bana? This weekend there was a record 65 bookings. 65 bookings, but weekend moja. These referees, they're just stupid bana. Mambo